Here are 10 things to get your guitar playing loved one for Christmas this year. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Guitar Gear Trader channel. I am Steve, coming at you as always from Nashville, Tennessee. Before we get into the top 10 or the 10 things you can get your loved one for Christmas, do me a favor, hit subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment, like the video, share the video out with your friends, follow me on Instagram at Guitar Gear Trader. If you do follow me on Instagram, do me a favor, drop me a message and say that you followed me from the YouTube channel, because I'll follow you back. A lot of times I get follows from like random accounts and I don't follow them back because most of the time those accounts just want you to follow them and then they unfollow you real quick. I want genuine people on my account. I don't want fake likes or fake follows. I want real people that really enjoy the content to be on there, so I can get out to you guys. So if you do follow me, do me a favor. Drop me a message, say what's up, say you found me from the show on YouTube, and I'll follow you back. So today, it is the Christmas season. I celebrate Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, that's okay. These are still 10 cool gifts that you could get your loved one, your guitar playing loved one, for a birthday or for an anniversary or for whatever, but it happens to be Christmas. So let's talk about Christmas gifts. So I picked 10 things here that are around the studio that are for any guitar player. They don't need to be for seasoned musicians that have been playing their whole lives. They can be for your beginner guitar player. They can be for your intermediate guitar player like myself. They could be for players that are professionals that gig out on Broadway or that gig out in Vegas or wherever they're gigging out on a daily basis, in the big stages, in the small stages, in the garages, in the living rooms, in the bedrooms. It doesn't matter where you are. As long as you play guitar, these 10 things will absolutely come in handy for you. And they're all pretty reasonably priced things. I didn't choose things that were really expensive or that were obscure or anything like that. You can find all of these items at your local guitar shops, Sweetwater's, guitar centers, mom and pop shops. None of this stuff that I'm going to show you is paid promotion by anybody. I didn't get paid for any of this. This is all stuff that I bought, that I have in my house, that I use all the time. Okay, so number one, get your guitar playing loved one a good stand. Okay, here I have the Hercules guitar stand, and what I like about this is that it holds the stand by the head, holds the guitar by the headstock. It does not have one of those like holders down here that the guitar sits on. The guitar rests on the back of this, and it hangs by the headstock here. One really nice thing about this one is when the guitar goes into it, it closes down on it like that, so that it doesn't fall out. So you have to lift the guitar up to take it out, which is pretty cool. A lot of different companies sell these. This happens to be by Hercules. Fender sells them. I'm sure Musician's Friend has their own brand that they sell just like that. The necks or the heights of these are adjustable right here. So depending on if you have an acoustic or if you have an electric or if you have a short scale guitar or a bass, okay, they'll all fit on there. The only thing that really doesn't fit on there, for me at least, is my mandolin and my ukuleles. They don't fit on there. They're not long enough for that, or they don't get short enough for that. I tend to get these on sale, really good price on Musician's Friend when they have stupid deal of the day. A lot of times what Musician's Friend will do is give you a 3-pack, and you're essentially getting one of the stands for free, so you're buying 2, getting 1 free. And these could be, the Hercules ones are pretty expensive. They can be like $50 for one of these, and I get 3 of them for like $65, something like that. I forget what the price is that I paid, but it's definitely a much better price than if you were to buy them separately. So that is number 10. Number 9, picks. Nice and easy. Every guitar player needs these. Every guitar player loses these. Every guitar player leaves them around the house for you to find in the couch cushions. I try to keep one of these in my pocket at all times, or in my phone, the back of my phone case. That is selflessly promoting my YouTube channel, and my band. Okay, if you want to really add a nice touch, personalize them for your loved one. Okay, make it their name or their band, or maybe their favorite band. You can find picks that already have bands on them. You can buy AC/DC picks or Kiss picks or Metallica picks, things like that. Try to find out the thickness that your loved one uses. Most people use mediums, but some people like to use hard picks, or some people like to use more flimsy, softer picks. Okay, so if you find one laying around the house, take it with you, bring it to the guitar shop and say, can you give me a package of these? These are pretty cheap if you're just buying the generic Fender brand or the D'Addario brands, whatever ones you buy in the store. If you get them personalized like I did, it's going to run you probably about $100 for 50 of them, something like that, because you're doing the personalization. But it's a nice little touch, and guitar players will 100% appreciate picks. Number 3, you also can't go wrong with strings. Okay, guitar players change their strings a lot. Some people do, some people don't. Some people leave the strings on until they break. There's a lot of people like that. But go around your loved one's stuff, rummage around their stuff. Not snooping, but just trying to find out what their favorite brand is, because guitar players are very specific with what guitar strings that they use. I use D'Addario 10s for my electrics. For acoustics, to be really honest, I really don't care. Musician's friend had a stupid deal the day on these where they gave you like 20 packs, so I just bought them. Personally, I don't mind what strings are on my acoustics as long as they're pretty light. Okay, these are light gauge, 11 gauge strings made by Martin. D'Addario also makes great strings. Ernie Ball makes great strings. Okay, again, same thing with the electrics. I use 10s, D'Addario 10s. Some people like Ernie Balls. Some people like Gibson strings. Who knows? Okay, whatever. But guitar players always love having a nice set of fresh strings on their guitar. Makes them sound really nice and bright as soon as they change them. Next up, this is something every guitar player should have on them when they're playing, and it's the capo. We all know that. Okay, if you don't know what a capo is, the capo you can put this on the neck of the guitar to essentially change where the nut is. Okay, the nut is the very end of the neck, all the way at the top near the headstock. And if you clamp this onto the neck at different points, it will move the nut up so you can play harder chords with easier fingerings. Okay, so if you don't like to play bar chords necessarily, okay, maybe you're just starting out and you don't want to kind of learn how to play bar chords. I'm not telling you to do that. Go learn your bar chords. Get your hands strong and so that you can press those strings down with the bar chords. But a lot of country musicians do it. A lot of singer-songwriters do it. They put capos on the neck so that you can play a B in like a D shape or a G shape or an A shape. That's an open style chord, rather than having to do the whole bar chord thing, because it is harder. Okay, I'm not going to lie, bar chords are much harder than open chords, and this will allow you to kind of eliminate a lot of those bar chords out of your repertoire by just using one of these. Now, these come in lots of different styles. This one happens to be all metal or brass with rubber parts that touch the guitar. Right, this part will touch the strings, this part will touch the back of the neck, so it's protected. I like metal ones because there's less things that can break. Right, the metal's not going to bend, the metal's not going to wear out, really. There's no spring in here. This is a screw. Okay, there's no spring, so if I need it to be tighter on the headstock or on the neck, I can just twist the screw to loosen it or twist it the other way to tighten it. There's no spring tension, because over time, those springs in the plastic ones, they tend to wear out. And I know there's a way to adjust them, but I think you have to take the whole thing apart. So you're going to end up going through more of those over time, where something that's metal like this, it's going to be more expensive. It's probably going to be double the price of one of the plastic ones, but this will last you your whole life if you don't lose it. This will work just fine. They're universal. They work on any guitar, acoustic or electric. Doesn't really matter. Get your loved one a capo. Next up is going to be a guitar strap. Okay, good old-fashioned guitar strap. You can get really fancy guitar straps like this one. This was handmade by a leather guy in Missouri when I went to check out what's the amusement park over there. I forget the name of the amusement park in Branson. Okay, but my family and I went there. Okay, and I got my initials put on there, SI. He put an American flag on there for me. He put some tooling around the edge. It's all handmade, hand cut, hand stained, or dyed, whatever you want to say. It took a little breaking in, okay, because the guitars, the Les Pauls I use are kind of heavy. And this area, you can feel this area is much softer than this part, which is much harder. That part's like not touching me really, it's on my back. So something like this ran me a pretty penny. This was over $100. But you have something like, that's a little bit cheaper like this. This is a Franklin guitar strap. It's fake Python print on top of leather. So it's extremely comfortable. It's much more affordable. This was like, I don't know, maybe this was like $45, maybe $35, somewhere around there. It was less than 50, that's for sure. And it's a great strap. It's very comfortable, does the job real well. So either way, you can't go wrong with something either personalized, really nice and personalized if you want to spend the more money. You can find leather makers out there that make these straps. You can go on like Etsy and stuff. They hand make these things. Or you can, there are companies that just make really high-end leather straps. Maybe you can't personalize them. Maybe you can take them to somebody to personalize them for you. But they're really high-quality leather straps. Some of them have fur and padding on underneath them. Okay, unlike this one that's just leather. But why are these good? These are good even for people who don't play in bands. It's good to learn how to play guitar standing up. I would highly, highly suggest that everyone learn how to play the songs that they're learning standing up. Just in case you ever do want to play in a band, it makes it a lot easier. Playing and practicing all those songs while sitting down is fine and nice. But if you ever wanted to play in front of somebody in a band setting, you're going to have to stand up. And it's a different animal. Standing up and playing is completely different than sitting and playing. It's much, much more uncomfortable to stand up and play. It's a lot harder on your wrists and your arms when you stand up and play. The weight of the guitar comes into effect. So learn how to play standing up. Get yourself a good strap, a comfortable strap that you don't mind using while on stage. I'm going to keep the strap because that leads me to my next gift, which is this little bad boy. This is called the Rock Lock. Okay. And on one side, it has this kind of wheel. And on this side, it has a locking mechanism that goes into your strap locks on your guitar. And this goes on almost every single guitar imaginable. So here I just randomly took a Telecaster down. There's my strap lock. Here's my rock lock. You put it into the larger one, pull it down, and it snaps in place and it won't come off. Cannot come off. There are these two little buttons on the side. You push them in and it releases. And this fits on almost every single guitar. The only guitars I ever found that it doesn't fit onto are Gretsch guitars that have the big burled knobs on the end. This is not big enough to support those. So for a Gretsch, you're going to have to use a traditional strap. You have to use the holes, the traditional holes that are in the strap. Or you could always take those burled knobs off and put in new knobs. If you go on Amazon, you can get strap knobs or strap buttons for like $10 for a set of 3. And you can just unscrew the ones from the Gretsch, put the ones on that are on every other guitar in the world, Fenders and Gibsons and Rickenbackers, and this will fit. And it's a great little thing to have, especially if you're standing up and if you're worried about dropping the guitar. There have been plenty of times before I had strap locks where these things get worn out from taking them on and off all the time, and you're up there playing and your guitar falls off of you. And it's not a fun feeling, especially if you don't catch your guitar in time and it falls and breaks. Okay, so strap locks are great. The nice thing about this one is you only have to buy this piece. Other strap locks that you have to buy, it's a 2-piece system that comes with the metal strap button as well as the strap lock, and you have to replace the strap buttons on the guitar. With these, for most people, okay, these are going to work on all of your guitars except for those Gretsches. But I think the players model Gretches have regular strap buttons on them, so you can use this on like the Falcon Tees or the Country Gentleman player models, things like that. They'll have regular buttons. But these are a great little tool. These, out of all these things, these might be my favorite one. Okay, and again, I'm not getting paid by any of these. I asked them to. I wanted them to pay me because these are only like $25. And I think you get 2 of them for $25, if I'm not mistaken. I'll try to put that on the screen. But these are wonderful. I love these. I have them on all of my straps and for all of my guitars. Next up, a handy dandy maintenance kit. Okay, I've had this kit probably 20 years now. It's called the Gig Master. I want to say that says Master on it. Okay, or Gig Mate. That's what it says, Gig Mate. Okay, this is the Gig Mate. It's falling apart. There's a big hole right here. Okay, because I've used it so long. But inside of this, I bring this to every gig, and even before I played in bands, I used this all the time. Inside of this thing, I have a whole bunch of stuff. I just started accumulating things and putting it in here. Let me just take out the stuff that's going to fall when I lift it up to you, which is most of the stuff. Okay, so what came in here originally were a really nice set of snippers when you want to change your strings, and they have these little straps that hold them in there. It came with a really nice screwdriver that is both flathead and Phillips. You can flip it over and do flathead and Phillips. If you were changing out volume knobs, or if you were changing out pickups or doing something like that, that's always helpful if you're, adjusting things. It came with little Allen keys. Okay, a whole bunch of little Allen keys over here. Okay, I've added to that collection too because not all Allen keys are created equal. You need some different sizes for different guitars. A lot of times Allen keys are going to be used either on the volume or tone knobs or bridge saddles. Thank you. Okay, to raise and lower the saddles, a lot of times you'll need to use the Allen keys for that. Okay, I have another little screwdriver in here. I have a string winder in here. This came with one. Okay, it wasn't this one. The one that came with this one broke. Okay, but I have my string winder in there when I want to change my strings. That's what it came with. It has a little pocket here. It's where I keep my picks. I keep extra picks in here if I ever need them. And then it has a whole bunch of these little slots here, these little pouches that they're meant for the different strings. So if you take your E strings and put them in here, and you can take out your D string, B strings, G's, D's, A's, and E's and put them in the things. I used to do that, okay, but nowadays these D'Addarios all come in one package, so all the strings are in one package. I always keep an extra set of strings with me just in case I happen to break one at a gig, and I keep the band stickers in here to give out at gigs. Some other things that I keep in here, and this is another great gift, especially if your loved one is in a band. This is a pick holder. So we'll add to the list here. This is a pick holder, and this goes onto your microphone stand, and it holds your picks for you. Not the Dunlop one. No, I'm just joking. When this is on the microphone stand, it actually has more tension on it, so it'll hold the picks really, really well, actually. But your picks would go right in there like that. So if you wanted to throw your pick to the crowd and grab another pick real quick, you could do so with this bad boy. This also helps me to hold my slide. Okay, I can put this little guy in there. And you got to remember this is on the mic stand, and then my slide goes right there on that, so that it's easy to handle and pick up and take off whenever I want. Okay, so I got that. I got this new toy. I got an EBow. Okay, I haven't really messed around with this yet, but it's supposed to mimic like a violin bow on your strings. Okay, but that's that. And this is why my case is breaking, because I'm overstuffing it like George Costanza's wallet. There we go. Okay, next up on the list. Okay, we got 3 more things, maybe 4 more things. My list is getting bigger as we go here. Get your loved one a tuner, a clip-on tuner or a pedal tuner. It doesn't matter what kind of tuner you get your loved one. Get them a tuner. Actually, I'm lying. Don't get them a snark. I've had nothing but problems with snark tuners. This is a Korg tuner. To be really honest, if you want to get your loved one a really good tuner, get them a pedal, like a Stompbox guitar pedal tuner. Boss makes an amazing pedal tuner. Fender makes a cheap, good one. Fender makes like a $40 tuner pedal. That's like $40. It's made of metal. It's really good. And you plug your guitar into it with a regular 1/4-inch cable. It'll do the job. Like this little thing does the job for in the house. When I'm with the band, I have my Boss chromatic tuner. It's like a $100 tuner. If you don't want to spend that much, these things are like $20 maybe. The Fender pedal one is $40. I suggest if you have $40 and you want to get your loved one a tuner, get them the Fender pedal tuner. Don't get a snark. I have had nothing but issues with those. But you need this. It's hard enough to play guitar. And when you're trying to learn and you're trying to get an ear for what you're playing, it really is frustrating when you're playing your music and you don't sound the way you want to. And it's not because you're messing up, it's because your guitar's not in tune. And a lot of newcomers to guitar don't get that. They don't understand that. I'll sit here with my brother and he'll be playing and he'll be getting frustrated because the things that he thinks he's playing is not sounding right to him. And I'm like, dude, it's out of tune. Like, you're not in tune. You're playing all the right chords and you're playing the right notes, but you're in the right positions, but your guitar's not in tune. You got that D is flat or that A is sharp or whatever. Always have one of these next to you. Always have one of these handy. So that's a big one. Not the most glamorous, but it is needed. The next two things are kind of personal for me, I guess. I was introduced to this stuff by my very, very good friend and bandmate, Nikki Barboulis, back in New York. It's basically WD-40 for your guitar strings. It's finger ease, guitar string lubricant, and this changed my life. Like, going up and down the neck smoothly and fast, doing chord changes or doing lead breaks or whatever, this stuff makes your life so much easier. It's dirt cheap. It's like $3 a can. It lasts forever. Okay, you literally just spray it up and down the neck once or twice before a show or before you're going to play. And it makes going up and down the neck a lot smoother on your hands. You don't hear the friction against the strings as much when you're moving from one place to another. So it would be good for recording as well. So it would reduce the noise. And it's good for steel, nylon, or gut strings. I don't know what gut strings are. Is that like natural strings? Like made from the gut of an animal? That's interesting. And it says stop string talk. Right? That's what I'm talking about with that noise you hear when you change from one place to another, when your hand rubs it, when your fingers rub up against the strings. It reduces that. I cannot play in a gig without this stuff. I don't use it at home typically. I only use it at rehearsals or at a show. But without this, I would not feel comfortable. Next, this is probably the highest end thing that I'm going to mention to you guys, and it's a wireless guitar system. Now, they make wireless guitar systems that are thousands of dollars. You do not have to get your loved one a $1,000 or $2,000 wireless guitar system. You can get them something like this, which costs significantly less. These are little they're not Bluetooth, they're transmitter and receivers. And one plugs into your guitar, the other one plugs into your amp or your pedals, wherever you want your signal to go. You turn them on, they sync up, and they're great for small gigs, say in church or in small bars like where I play. Okay, most of the time these things work. They don't interfere with other signals in the room. There was one or two bars I've played at where there's a signal coming from somewhere and it's not making these things perfectly clear, so I have to hardwire a cable in there. But at home, these are perfect to play with. It's so much nicer knowing that you can just get up and walk around with your guitar. If you needed to answer the door, if you needed to get a drink, you don't have to put your guitar down. And these things really make your life easy as far as not being tethered to your amp, things like that. And you just take them out and plug them into the next guitar. It's really nice. And you don't have to worry about tripping over it or getting tangled in the chords. I want to say I want to say this was less than $100. I could completely be wrong. I'll put the price up next to my face over here for all of these things. But this is, I don't want to say it's extravagant because they make extravagant ones, but that's not this. Okay, this is made by X-Vive. I've had nothing but good things to say about it. I've used it on multiple gigs, right? And this band has been, that I'm in now, has gigged about 10 to 15 times at this point, and I've only had an issue twice. Okay, one time I think the sound engineer was using some Wi-Fi thing that might have been interfering, and another time, I don't know, maybe there were too many cell phones in the place. I'm not sure what it was in that other place. But for 80% of the gigs, 90% of the gigs, this was well worth it. And at home, I use it at home all the time. Whenever I plug in, I don't use cables. I use this thing, and I just recharge it. It's rechargeable batteries. You don't have to add batteries to it, which is really nice. The one I had before this in New York, 10 years ago, ran on AA batteries. So I bought a new pair of batteries every gig, and we gigged like 3 times a month. So that's that. And then the very last thing, if all of this fails, or if your guitar loved one has all of these things, God bless them, and maybe they don't have a book. Okay? I love guitar books. I have a whole collection of different guitar books, and these guitar books are literally just collections of guitars that teach you about what your favorite artists play, like this book. This is a book of James Hetfield's guitars. These are all the guitars from the lead singer of Metallica, and it gives the stories of the guitars, where they got them, what that guitar means to them, what modifications they've done to the guitars, what songs they played the guitars on. I have another one like that about just the Beatles. Okay, Beatles Gear is a great book. Okay, and it goes through all of the gear from the beginning of the Beatles to the end of the Beatles, the drums, the guitars, the basses. Okay, detailed pictures of all these things. Okay, which is great. I love learning history of stuff like that. And then you got this one. This one kind of just teaches you the difference between guitar brands, what they use, how they do things. It also teaches you how to know different eras of guitars, right? Gibsons from the 70s use different parts and have different production processes than they did in the 50s or today. Same thing with Fenders. Fenders changed logos. Fenders changed headstock shapes. Fenders, chambered bodies differently, or Gibson's chambered bodies differently. All that stuff can be learned out of books like this. This is Norman's Rare Guitars book, and it goes through acoustics and electrics and all types of good stuff. It shows you rare guitars. It teaches you how to tell the difference between fakes and real guitars sometimes. Okay, so if you're out there looking to buy vintage stuff, you can use this as a reference guide to see what these guitars should look like and what they should have, and so that you know what to buy when you're buying it. So there's so many other things that you can buy your guitar playing loved one. You can buy them a guitar. You can buy them an amp. If you have the funds to do that, by all means, I would say do it. That would be the best gift ever. If my wife came home or if I found a Les Paul custom under the tree, I'd be over the moon. Probably not going to happen, and that's fine. But I'm sure this year I'll get something guitar related, even if it's a t-shirt, or if it's a magnet, or if it's a gift card to somewhere, or if it's a pedal. But I'll be happy either way. So, what do you think? What are you going to get your loved one, your guitar playing loved one this Christmas? Or what do you want from your guitar playing loved one this Christmas? Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next week.